gentlemen, one more time for the chairman of the Federal Civil Service Commission, Dr. Tukru Bello Ingawa. We thank you very kindly for your kind speech. We appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to invite now a former managing director of Access Bank, a man who has traveled across the world and by the mercies of God have seen how the civil service operates in other climes, and is partnering with the Office of the Head of the Civil Service of the Federation to ensure that we replicate same here so that we can have the civil service come to the world standard. I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen, the chairman of Aig-Imoukhuede Foundation, Mr. Aigboje Aig-Imoukhuede. A round of applause to him as he comes forward. That is a former MD of Access Bank. Put your hands together louder than that, ladies and gentlemen.
His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari, represented by the Minister for FCT, the lady I call the matriarch of civil servants, the head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Dr. Folashade Yemi-Eson. Permit me to rest on all other protocols very ably established by my senior brother, the chairman of the Federal Civil Service Commission. My name is Aigboje Aig-Imoukhuede, and it gives me great pleasure to be here today for the commemoration of the Civil Service Day. The Aig-Imoukhuede Foundation has been working with the head of service since 2017. We started by engaging consultants to work on the 2017 FSIP, which has been succeeded by the 2025 FSIP, which we'll be launching this morning. The whole idea of FSIP is simply that there is a recognition that nations are built by the contributions of different stakeholders. One very key stakeholder, and to my mind, the most important stakeholder in building a virile nation, is the civil servant. Our nation has, over several decades, made a very big strategic error. At independence, we inherited a wonderful, powerful, functioning, performing civil service, applauded all over the world for the quality of officers within it who did marvelous things for our nation. Over successive years, we failed to invest in that crop of contributors to nation building. We failed to invest in their training. We failed to invest in their culture. We failed to invest in recognizing them in society. We failed to invest in their pay and welfare. And this nation has suffered for it. The plan that we launched today is all about transforming that story and that narrative, and calling for major investments in our most important stakeholders in nation building. That is you, the civil servant. And we at the Aig-Imoukhuede Foundation are proud to be a partner with government, in particular the Office of the Head of Service, in making this transformation and turnaround possible. The civil servants are the stewards of nation building, and we must make this steward powerful and able to steer our nation into the first world. Research shows that culture plays a very important part of this process. And the work that is being done to transform the culture of the civil service in all its ramifications, particularly as regards the area of performance, is not work just for government alone. I listened with great pride to the head of service speak about some of the things that have been achieved in the recent past. She spoke about standard operating procedures. She spoke about the fact that the civil service is getting the most current ISO certifications. And I didn't see our civil servants doing some booga moves. And I wondered why. In the private sector, when our leaders make these announcements, we dance because they herald the beginnings of great things. The civil service in Nigeria is beginning to do great things, and we must celebrate them. We must celebrate you all. And I believe that is the intention of today's ceremony. Now, standing here in this hall, I want to make a call to action. I want to call on Nigerians to join the head of service and her team of fantastic permanent secretaries, all of whom have become my friends in this journey and in this work that we do, and the directors, and the middle and junior level officers who have formed the core of this transformation team. I want to call on action from the executive arm of government, who can give political backing to the reforms that the civil service has embarked on. I want to call on the civil servants themselves to be flag bearers of this change, to work, to play, to build this nation in line with this new culture. I want to call on the private sector to make many cars available in prices, to make much more available to the civil service in support, to encourage them, because we are the greatest beneficiaries of the work that the civil servant does. And finally, I want to call on Nigerian citizens to hold the civil servant constructively accountable for the work they do. And this new civil servant is not a civil servant that will shy away from criticism, that will shy away from partnering with the people they serve, that is the common man. They will receive your criticism constructively given. And I can assure you, with the plans that I see, Nigeria will never be the same again. Finally, I would like to congratulate the outstanding civil servants who have been recognized and awarded today. As leaders in the civil service, you embody the new civil service, and you all have a key role to play in shaping Nigeria's future. Let me end on this note. I have said this before. The civil servant that I know is my father, my mother, siblings, friends, just like many of you. The civil servant that I know is the greatest person produced by this country. The civil servant I know has borne names like Ali Akilu, Simeon Adebo, Jerome Udoji, Joseph Aig-Imoukhuede. These are men and women, some of whom are here, who have been honored beyond the boundaries of this country, honored by other countries. We will now begin to honor you as we did then, but we will demand from you the performance that attracts such honor. Thank you, and God bless.
Ladies and gentlemen,
thank you, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Still standing on the protocols, I did state that the whole country stands with the government, the head of service, and the entire civil service in this reform drive, particularly as regards the issue of recognition and rewards of deserving public servants who in the course of duty have done great things for their nation. I listened to the citations. I watched very carefully the award winners. I have been impressed by the transparency of the process. I have even been greater impressed by the magnificent work being done by these public servants. It is my understanding that annually 43 public servants will be recognized in this fashion, and so with effect from the 2022 Civil Service Awards ceremony, on behalf of the Aig-Imoukhuede Foundation, we will be putting an endowment with effect from this award session, whereby each awardee receives a cash prize of 500,000 naira. And in the interest of digital culture, the credits will go directly to your accounts. Is it directly to your accounts? Or is it checks? Direct to the accounts. So you get your alerts. Congratulations. I've been asked by the MC, is it beginning now? It begins now, and it is being endowed, so it shall continue, ad infinitum by the very grace of God. Amen.
A round of applause for him, ladies and gentlemen.